Hi everybody, my name is Anna and I will be sharing my story on my journey on the getting granulomatous mastitis. I feel like granulomatous mastitis is not something that people or doctors know how to treat, and it can be very frustrating. If you know, you know. It can be very frustrating to have one doctor tell you one thing, a different doctor tell you something else. It's not fun. It's very painful, and I don't wish this on anyone, not even my worst enemy. This is just horrible. Okay, so I'm making this video because I know there is a lot of women who also have gone through it, and they have gone through it alone. I just want to help someone out there because I know it's rare, and yeah, and it's just scary at the same time. This started all the way back in August 2024. So in August 2024, I was already having like a little bit of pain, but I didn't think anything of it because everything was normal. I mean, I went to the doctors and they ordered a mammogram, which I did not want to do because of all the radiation. And since I already had pain in my breast, I didn't want to make things worse because I've had 2 breast infections before I had granulomatous mastitis, and this was back when I was breastfeeding my babies. But anyway, I got the breast pain back in August 2024, but it wasn't bad. There was no redness. I wasn't getting a fever, no lumps. Everything looked completely normal from the outside. It was just a little bit painful, kind of like when you're about to get your period, but that pain kind of just would come and go, all the way until March of 2025. And during this whole time, like I didn't do the mammogram. You can do your own research, but I did the ultrasound because that just seemed like the better option for me. And the ultrasound showed that everything was normal, and the doctors told me, you're okay, eat healthy and sleep, eat, drink water, whatever, go home. And everything was fine up until March 11th. That's when I woke up, I had pain like I sometimes did, the same pain. But this time I noticed that I had nipple discharge. So when I started to have the nipple discharge, I started to have like stabbing pain. It would come and go, and it was like really, really strong. So I went to the ER because since I had breast infections when I was breastfeeding and I had the same stabbing pain, I knew that it was a breast infection. So I decided to go to the ER. They gave me antibiotics. They did an ultrasound at the ER, and they noticed that I had an abscess inside. The outside looked normal. I was just leaking. I had the discharge, and then the ultrasound showed an abscess inside. No redness. There was no redness at first, and after I took the antibiotic, the pain went away, and the lump was still there. So I went back to the ER because I started to have a little bit of pain again. They tried to aspirate the lump, the abscess that was inside, but nothing came out. They weren't able to get anything out. They told me to just take the antibiotic and to schedule an appointment with my doctor, which I did. After I went to the ER, the pain started to get worse. So I was taking 2 antibiotics this time, the same one that they prescribed me the first time, plus a different one. If you want to know the names of the antibiotics, just let me know down in the comments. Yeah, so the pain started to get worse. It was the worst it had ever been. It felt like my breast was about to explode. Like that feeling of being so full that it's about to explode. And my breast looked a little bit swollen. It was not red. It was just a little bit pink. From the outside, my breast just looked swollen. But it was extremely painful, and I went to my parents' house and I checked my temperature, and I was starting to have a fever of 100. When they checked my temperature, it was at 100. On March 31st to April 5th ish is when I started to have night sweats, and the fever went down, but the night sweats lingered, and the pain wasn't as bad, but it was still there. And I still had random shooting pain. So at this point, I'm like, okay, what is this? The antibiotics did not resolve this. And then I went to see my doctor, and they tell me that to go see an OBGYN. And I call these OBGYN. I can't be seen until like a month from that day, which was crazy because I was in so much pain. That ER is like, go see your PCP. My PCP was saying, go see the OBGYN, and the OBGYN just wanted to schedule me a month after the call, whatever. I wish I could show you a picture, but my breast was just so swollen and so painful. It was so painful. So on April 14th, I actually start to get a little bit scared that the infection is getting worse, and because the redness was increasing. There was a little spot on the side, and it was just getting bigger and bigger every day. So I go back to the ER because it's still painful. The antibiotics didn't help. It did help my fever. That's about it. So I go back to the ER, and the doctor tells me, hey, I hope we're not missing anything. We're gonna go ahead and do a CT scan. Every doctor that I had spoken to, I told them I don't want a mammogram. I'm gonna go with that ultrasound. And if you absolutely think after doing ultrasound that I do need to do the mammogram, I will do it, but I will not do it until we do an ultrasound first. And they told me, hey, we should do a CT scan. And so I'm like, you know what? I've been in pain for a whole month. I'm gonna go ahead and agree to the CT scan. And I did the CT scan, and then the doctor, the results, after seeing the results, he tells me everything looks fine. You just have an abscess and a lot of inflammation on your breast. So this could be inflammatory breast cancer. And he tells me you need to go see your primary care doctor and tell them that you got the CT scan done, and that it could potentially be a inflammatory breast cancer. And so at this point, I'm scared. On April 15th, I find a new OBGYN, someone that can see me sooner, and I get a same day appointment, and the doctor tells me to finish the prescription that they gave me at the ER and to follow up in a week, which was, that prescription was doxycycline. I think that's how you say it. That's antibiotic. So on April 22nd, I went to see my OBGYN, and the breast is even more red. This time it's like so red, so painful. And my body, at first, like, it was just, the pain was just my breast, and the only discomfort I had was my breast. But after a whole month and a half, my body started to feel very, very weak. I started to feel disgusting. I think my body was fighting whatever this was, and I was just not feeling okay. I did not have the energy to do anything. I was irritated. I don't know that feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it kind of feels like you're not okay laying down, you're not okay walking, you're not okay sitting down. It's like you're going crazy. It just feels like you're going crazy. That's how I felt. On April 23rd, that's when I started to feel ill. Like my whole body, not just my breast, my whole body started to feel weird. So on April 25th, I went back to the ER because I started to have a mild fever. And by this time, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I can't take care of my kids. Like, what is going on? And I'm getting a fever. So I went to the ER because they told me, if you ever get a fever, go to the ER. That's what they told me. So I go. And while I'm there, a doctor calls me in. I sit down, and the abscess pops. and it starts draining like pus. It was just so much pus. Like it was just crazy, because if I would have been by myself, if I wouldn't have gone to the ER, I don't know what I would have done. But that day, they admitted me, and I was there at the hospital for 4 days, and they gave me vancomycin. I thought that everything was gonna be fine and everything was done after that, because the pus was coming out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. The doctor told me, hey, sometimes breast cancer can cause infections, so you definitely need to go see a specialist, and you need to get a referral for to see a breast surgeon. Finally, after being in the hospital for 4 days, they test the pus, and there is no bacteria, is what they tell me. So at this point, I had already read some things online about granulomatous mastitis, and I was assuming this is what it was based on people's experiences. And so when they told me the pus had no bacteria, I started to think, I started to be more convinced that it was granulomatous mastitis. I did go to my primary care, finally sent the referral for the breast surgeon, and when I saw the breast surgeon, that was, I think, May. So this started in March, and I didn't see the breast surgeon until May. And he told me that this is granulomatous mastitis. I've seen cases, and they all look like this, and they last for 2 years or so, and eventually they go away. So I was still not feeling okay. My breast was still hard. I was still draining, so I had to use gauze every day. And at this time, my body still was not feeling well. I got some blood work done. And yeah, my labs were not okay. My C-reactive protein was over 100, and it's supposed to be under 8. Okay, a lot of results in my blood work were high, and my body was just working overtime. After going to the hospital, I had a fever every single night for 2 months. I would wake up and my temperature would be fine, and by the end of the day it would be like 100. It was always a low grade fever, but it still lasted like 2 months. It was 2 months until I started to feel better, and I started to take oregano oil. There is a lot of information online, and what helped me is this. I started taking this. This is a different bottle, but sometimes I still take it. When I started taking this, I didn't see results until I don't know if this is what helped me or time healed me. I started taking it because nothing was helping me, and the breast surgeon told me to stop taking the antibiotics, that everything would go away eventually. I know sometimes he told me that sometimes when things aren't getting better, that they do steroid shots, and I've heard a lot of women that actually go through with that, and it helps them sometimes it doesn't help them. So I didn't want to go that route until I first let my body do its thing and go the natural way first, and if that doesn't work, then I would have done that. My fever started going away after a month of taking that, so it wasn't fast. Yeah, so today is October, and my breast is still hard, and my wound, the open wound that opened back in April, actually finally closed in September. So I had an open wound from April until September. That's a long time, and even now my breast is still hard, not as hard as at the beginning. The inflammation went down by so much, and I recently got my blood work done, and my results, they're still not good, but my labs are way better than they were. My C-reactive protein went from over 100, and now it's at 14. So I'm still not under 8. I'm still not underage, which is where I'm supposed to be. So from my experience, one doctors don't really know how to treat this. One doctor tells you one thing, a different doctor tells you something else. This doctor tells you breast cancer. This doctor tells you you might get sepsis. There was also so many times I thought that I was gonna die because of this infection. I actually didn't think that I was gonna get better because my body kept getting worse and worse every day. I was waking up with pains, body aches everywhere. My neck was hurting here, and then my legs. I started having red, painful spots on my legs. Joint pain was horrible. And I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It got to a point where I told my husband to check on me throughout the night because just to make sure I was still alive or to make sure I was okay, because I actually thought that one day I was gonna sleep and I might just not wake up. There is a Facebook group that I joined on Facebook that maybe you can look it up as well for it to help you. Women have different experiences, they have different things that have helped them, and you can look it up. And this is what has helped me. There's so many times I got to see God move in my life through this pain, and I might make a different video for this one because there's actually a lot. So I want to say that I hope this video helps you and serves as an encouragement to you, and that you can see that things get better eventually. It might not happen fast. It's very, very slow. I hope that we can get better, you can get better, I can get better, and we can eventually go back stronger than ever. And hopefully through this hardship, we can find our strength in God. I didn't mention like every single step that I went through. There was just so much, and this video would be so long. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thank you for watching. See you guys later. Bye.